afternoon to all of you present here. And a very warm welcome to you, Ehsaan,
Thank you.
Taking out time from your schedule. We were just discussing that you were in the US for the last 2 weeks, and you could spare time and pack your bags and visit Varanasi and enthrall the audience an hour earlier, and the kids were all gaga over.
Glad to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have not seen so much excitement, in the school for a really, really long time. So a big thank you for taking out time, speaking to the kids, performing for them, and the next half an hour, we will like to understand you as a person.
Sure.
We would love to understand your journey of growing up, your journey of music, and how things have impacted your life growing up, and how you have become the musical maestro that you are today, and how can we uncover some secrets from there and maybe share with our parents, our teachers, and how we can engineer that in our students here at DPS Varanasi.
Well, actually, I grew up in Bombay, and actually family of architects. I come from a family of architects. My father was a very famous architect, and he designed the first skyscraper in India, which was a very, very maverick thing to do at the time. And unfortunately, he passed away when I was 5 years old. And then, actually, as growing up, I was always exposed to music because my mother played music on the radio all the time. And there's a very interesting story there which I've actually shared before. But this is a very magical thing that happened with me. There's certain songs that I used to listen to when I was a child, and I used to feel a feeling of elation, which was unreal. It was magical. I feel like I'm floating away. And years later, when we were doing Dil Chahta Hai, I was driving to the studio in the afternoon. And at that time, the FM channels like Radio Mirchi and whatever, they used to only come in the morning on Akashvani. There was an FM band on Akashvani, which only used to go out till about 2 o'clock, and then Akashvani used to take over.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to play different kinds of classical music, and there was a musical appreciation program which is on the radio, on the air, of different ragas. And there was a sarod player who was playing it. There's one rag which I heard, and he said it was the Bhim Palasi rag. I heard that and it gave me that same feeling. So I said, wow, I didn't know what it was. So the internet had just started at that time.
Yeah.
I got back home and I logged on and I put in Bhim Palasi rag. And it took me to a site which was Bollywood songs in the Bhim Palasi rag.
Okay.
Every song that I liked as a child was in that rag.
Ah, wonderful.
It was just amazing that I just found things. So it was a magical thing growing up. So there was some music being, like getting into my very DNA at that point. And I'm very happy that my mom used to play the radio the whole day because there was all that Western music happening with my dad,
Yeah.
And my uncles, the whole family, there'd be like old records of the Ventures and the Beatles, stuff that, you listen to when growing up, which they liked to listen to when they were teenagers. And then my sister exposed me to a lot of music. She used to like this rock and pop and that kind of thing. So it was all there.
Mm-hmm.
And this went through school. Then when I was in school around the 9th, 10th standard, I used to interact with the senior guys who had the school band. They played in the school band.
Yes.
And 2 things. One is because of my love for music. And interacting with them spared me detention. I used to get into trouble every week. Every week I got detention. I was asked to stay behind 1 day of the week. And the senior prefects, pulled me out of class. Ehsaan Noorani, come here. Now everybody else thought, oh God, he's had it. They're going to punish him and make him do some physical thing. We'd be looking at guitar player magazines, seeing guitars and stuff like that. So that's my, the musical thing was there already.
Yeah.
Then when I went to college, I used to, I'd already joined the band and so rehearsed with the band a lot. As a result of which I missed a lot of carriage, but please, that is not what you're supposed to do. But it is the way it was for me. And got into playing with the band, started playing live. So there was a lot of that passion for music was building then. Where you want to play guitar the whole day. I used to study with my books in the front and the guitar in my lap. But I must say I did pretty well. Pretty okay. Actually not well, okay. And Then when it came, time for me to, when I was finishing my BCom, I wasn't really suited for that. I'm not going to be a businessman. If I run a business, it will probably shut down. I can't be an accountant because I'll get kicked out of the accountancy. So my uncle, who was my father's brother, who himself wanted to be a writer. He wanted to write books. He wanted to go and live in the south of France and be an author. He couldn't do it because my father died and he had to take over the architectural business. So he told me, why don't you go and study music? And I was say that what is the security in studying music? So his words were very true. He says there's no security in anything you do. You may go and study medicine, you may go and study business management, anything you want. There's no security that you're going to, security, maybe you get a job, but there's no security that you're going to be happy doing it. So you do something that really makes you happy and it's your passion. So there was him and there was my mother's father, who was my grandfather, who were going to jointly pay for my studies. So the big question was to approach my grandfather, a traditional man. And I went and met him and I told him what I wanted to do and everything. And he said that, I don't understand what you're doing. It's not in my vision, because I know this, I know doctors and I know engineer, that kind of thing. But whatever you do, just make a good success of it. That is all I needed to know.
Yeah.
And I went to study music after that.
Beautiful. So we've been talking, since morning, since you've arrived, and whatever you've shared have all been like words of wisdom, and I've really noted down many things that you've talked about. So to the audience, we are going to pass around some sticky notes, okay? And if you have a question, please write that question, and in the last 10 to 15 minutes, we'll take up those questions from you. Please write your name and write a question that you might have, and we'll try and take that question up. And for the next 20 minutes, we are going to deep dive more about how. So Ehsaan, to you, when was the first time that you had a guitar, and would you like to share a story about that with us?
Well, actually, there was a friend of mine who was from school. His name was Alan. He was 2 years senior to me. He lived 2 buildings down, and we used to walk to school together. He was the son of a very famous commentator, radio commentator called Hamid Sayani.
Okay.
Whose brother was Amin Sayani, who died recently. And so he was into music and surrounded with music all the time. He played guitar. And I went to his place once and he pulled out his guitar and he started playing a song by the Beatles called Here Comes the Sun. When I heard that, I just felt like this is an instrument I wanted to play. So he had an old guitar which he gave me. And I took that, and the strings were so high on the guitar that you could grate carrots on it if you wanted. So difficult to play.
Yeah.
But that was my first guitar. But it was with a passion. I played it the whole day. Wake up in the morning, breakfast table, you're eating it, I'd be playing guitar, and it was just that all the time.
Yeah.
So that was when I really found my calling for the instrument.
And when was it that you realized that this is exactly which was that moment when you realized that, okay, this is exactly what I'm going to do?
Actually, that moment was really where my uncle told me that you should study music. And that was I was still very insecure. I said, I'm going to America to study music. What am I going to do? Because that time, it's not like now, where you've got all these big artists who are performing every day, and Arijit Singh and Niti Mohan, who you can pay for and make a living and that kind of thing. That time you either joined the film industry or you played for advertising, which was also a very small market. Very few people doing that work. As it happened, I went and studied and I got into the whole advertising thing, and then from there got into movies.
Yeah. So in the audience, we have some parents, we have teachers, and you talked about your academic journey and your music journey a little bit. What would you like from a musician's point of view, from a growing up musician's point of view? What do you think is the role of a school, the role of the teachers, the role of the parents in that journey of a young musician?
This. Talking about Torrance, where Sunil and I tied up, and then this thing, that particular year when I met Sunil, when I went to Florida, we recorded a few videos and all together. After that, I went to a common friend of ours, in fact, the one who introduced us, who lives in Chicago. So I went to Chicago. Now, as it happened, the second day after I arrived in Chicago, it's a school district there, right?
Yeah.
Union School.
Yes.
And the school district was having an annual concert where musicians and bands from different schools were playing. So I went there, and there were this whole orchestra, all children.
Yes.
And these children had been only rehearsing for 2 hours before the show. And they learned the pieces of music up. And I heard them playing, they sounded like a professional orchestra. And there was a little girl, I remember, she was in the 8th grade. And she was a South Indian girl. Remember that? And she'd come from India last 3 years before something, and she played sax. That is a really difficult instrument to play. Guitar is difficult, but sax is even more difficult.
Yeah.
And she was playing jazz. Like, I said, how is this possible? Then it dawned upon me that the reason America turns out so many good musicians, you should think some of the biggest artists come from America, whether it's pop, whether it's rock, whether it's classical, is because they learn from school. The exposure starts from school. And that's when I said to Sunil, I think that we should bring this course into India, because that thing used to be, the betterment of, I mean, the thing is that music is not only an art form, it's also a spiritual practice for you. It's like a meditation.
Yeah.
And if you started younger, it's even better.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a very, very neutral meditation. It doesn't infer religion, there's no community, nothing. It's just pure emotion and pure beauty. So what more do you want? And one thing which I say to people who study music is that you made your best friend for life. Your music is never going to leave you. When you're old and 80 years old, you can still play your instrument.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Even if you don't become a musician, if you join an office or a company or something, your instrument will still be there waiting for you when you come home. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And one has to think about it in that. It doesn't mean that if you're going to study music, that you're going to become a musician. I mean, in terms of a professional musician, but it will enhance and better your life for sure.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And would you like to share with us a song that was like your first song, and probably many of us might not have yet still heard of it?
As in terms of
like something that you did before you became the Ehsaan Noorani that we see today.
No, but like I said, there were so many songs that I listened to, which maybe, to date I run.
Yeah.
And I've got a very good memory for melodies, because with Shankar-Ehsaan-Loy, I'm the only one who remembers every melody. So that even if it's done before, I'll squash it there and say, this is melody. Anyway, but I think there were a lot of milestones in my, in my musical upbringing, stuff, listening to what my dad had, which was My Fair Lady and those kinds of things, which I don't think even children today have heard of, those movies and those kind of things. And then the Hindi music which my mother listened to. And of course, my real passion for the guitar started when I heard a form of music called the blues, which is what I do a lot. Even on my Instagram page, you'll see all these blues lessons and stuff like that, which is really my passion. And a friend of mine played me a cassette once with this blues music on it. And I heard that and I said, this is what I want, this is the kind of music I want to play. So I would say that would be my calling. Calling card. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And we've seen like you were earlier talking about how schools can really thrive a culture of music. We have actually started working with Torrance for about a year now, and we see that students are really developing that liking for music. We have a few bands also, a few of them perform today, and it is such a delight to see that the kids are enjoying that, getting the right guidance. Would you like to share with us maybe a musical performance that you put out like very early in your career that gave you a lot of confidence, that strengthened you, that this is the right space for me?
Well, actually, my first big performance was with a band which I had called Crossroads. That was a lesson to me in many ways, actually, because first of all, before the show started, it must have been about 6:30. I popped out and looked out of the curtain. I pulled the curtain. This is in a beautiful theatre in Bombay called Ram Bhavan. It shut down. It would normally seat about 3,000 people maybe. And I looked out of the curtain and it was fully empty. And my heart sank. I said, no one's come for the movie. For the show, sorry. And just before the show, I came on the curtain and opened it again. And it was full. my knee started knocking. I started getting like super nervous.
Yeah.
And we started playing. The curtains opened, and as soon as the curtains opened full, the entire power of that area went off. So we were standing on stage, and all the music, everything had gone off, lights, lights, everything. And the audience was standing there in darkness. So my bandmate, he's like, I know everyone's very nervous, but let's just give it our best, And that was the first concert that we did, and that led to a lot more, after that.
Yeah.
Another very, very memorable concert of mine, which I'll never forget, was we were performing in Pune as Shankar-Ehsaan-Loy. And it was November, I remember. And we were on stage, we started playing. We reached the fifth song, and it started pouring with rain. So all the equipment, everything had to be taken off stage. We had to be taken. It became short circuit, and there was a big problem. So there was a little covered area which is just off the stage, so we were standing there and it was pouring away. So we said, we'll wait for the rain, then we'll go to our cars and leave. So the rain stopped. He went and looked, there was 5,000 people still waiting there, that much water. They were standing in the water and they were just standing there. Shankar said, now what do I do? So he spoke to the engineer, says, can you put the speakers on? Can you take one mic? So he took a mic and three of us went on stage and only he started singing. Then I asked the engineer, can I plug my guitar? And so I plugged one guitar and Loy took a mic and he had one little shaker and he was shaking it. We did the entire concert with just three of us on stage with 5,000 people standing in this water. And it was one of the best concerts that we had.
Yeah, amazing. I think,
that was a truly, truly amazing experience.
and that is something that really defines what your trio of Shankar-Ehsaan-Loy has really contributed to the music industry.
And the thing is, it also teaches you that there's no excuses.
Yeah.
You can make a million excuses, but if you want to just move on, you got to do it how it is.
Yes.
And when it is, and how it is right then.
Brilliant. And at our school, there's something that we talk about, which is the success mindset. And I think this is exactly what this is like. Without any excuses, you've got to deal with the situation at hand. I would love to know, for everybody who is so successful, there are always situations where you have faced those moments of self-doubt, anxiety, where you face moments that, okay, what's going to happen next? And the way you deal with those moments is actually that defines who you become as an individual. What would be that one moment for you where you feel really changed your life the way you
But
can?
actually, I would say right at the beginning of our career, we did a film called Gus, which was supposed to be directed by Mukul Anand, and he passed away. That was our introduction into the film industry. One of the biggest films that was going to be made, and the director died.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, forget it, we don't want to, we better, maybe the industry is not for us. But then the producers called up and said that we want to release one of the album of the song, which is a very good song. And there's a song that we did called Sabse Aage Ho Gaye, which people may have heard. That song was released on video, and boom, our life changed. It was the first time when we said that, maybe we should continue doing this. That was a life changer for us.
Isn't it? I think that is a song that everybody remembers, right? So largely, before we take the questions from the audience, if I have to ask you, what can parents really do? What is the right environment that parents can set at home, which will really encourage young musicians? Because today, I meet a lot of kids, Ehsaan, and I see that many of them are pursuing their dreams in one side, hiding it from their parents. Right. The other day I was meeting a child and he said that I want to be a model. Okay. But I asked him that whether your parents know about it. And he said, no, I'm going to do it after I'm 18 because then nobody can question me. And the same thing exists for children pursuing music. I also see that in schools, when children really take it up seriously and then want to go to the next level, educators, all of us, even me included, right? We question them, we don't provide them, we're not able to provide them the right environment, the right space. What do you think how should we start thinking for developing the young musicians of India?
See, the thing is, it's a kind of difficult question to answer because it really is also dependent on the parents' passion.
Yeah.
I mean, the passion for music, for the arts, and things like that. You cannot force anyone to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. Kids will bend and do what you want to do. But are they really going to be happy doing it? And I've seen a lot of people who've been very unhappy. Who's saying, I've got friends of mine. I've got a friend of mine who's studied genetics and he's become a recording engineer. I've got another friend of mine who studied business management in Manila. Today he's a keyboard programmer. So, you cannot keep that away. Whatever you try, you cannot keep that away. It's going to catch up with them at some stage. And might as well have to do it from when they're younger so that they can be young enough to go through that struggle, because there will be hard times. It's not an easy business to get into at all. But once you're in, it's fantastic, But you have to pay your dues. You're going to have to live in, share, room with 4 people. That thing you have to move to Bombay. That's another difficult thing. But that's all part of the thing, just let them give it a try. And I'm also very for, a lot of musicians who've got dual careers. I know people who will be working with Spotify or be working with Hangama or something in the daytime and in the evening they bring shows. So, that's a whole thing also that you supplement your income with something. A few of them will make it to the big stage.
Yeah.
But many of them will probably be working musicians but happier.
Yeah.
Sure. So the thing is, if the child wants to practice, of course you need to segregate because of studies and that kind of thing. But when we started this course 2 years after we started it, I had a lot of meetings with parents, and they were saying that the children actually feel better at work, at school, because they're so much more relaxed doing what they're doing, playing the instrument. They're not spending time on iPads and playing, games, killing people, that kind of thing. So very good. It's holistic. It's got a lot more effects than just the music and just the drill.
Yeah, absolutely. Music definitely, has that power to ease out children. It also has that power to sometimes bring concentration in. Like I know that there are days when I am feeling really bad, and if I listen to that song from Lakshya, and that really pumps me up and that really gets me going and puts me in the right frame of mind. And I also know of a lot of friends who go on stage sometimes and they are doing a talk or something. They listen to that one particular song, and that song is there when you ask them, it's that song that is their key to. What is that one thing that you do before you go on stage? Or
well, for me, the whole band does that. We hold hands, we say prayer, and we chant at the end of it in only 3 ohms, and that really brings the energy correct. Everyone's cohesive, and Om is such a strong chant.
Yeah.
That is what it's about, the sound.
Yeah.
It goes from your head right down to your toes.
Yes.
So everybody's grounded and everybody's ready to go. So we always do that. Always.
Brilliant.
See, it's a spiritual experience. That's the magic about music. It is a spiritual experience. So what you're experiencing from listening to that song by Lux is doing, in fact, I'll tell you a very interesting story. We performed for a big conference of psychologists in Chennai. And after the show, 1 or 2 doctors came up to us saying, what we take sometimes takes people, it takes us 3-4 years to cure somebody or to heal somebody. So you have done that in 10 seconds.
Absolutely. We were in one of our campuses. We are currently doing a study with a drummer, and we are working with about 20 kids and just trying to explore how music is helping those kids learn better. And this is absolutely so true, that the power of music, the power that it has to really heal people. And to the audience, I would like to share, from today morning, I've been having a lot of discussions with Ehsaan, and something that he shared, and it really resonated with me, and I would love, Ehsaan, for you to share that, is how you believe that the universe really orchestrates everything for you. And I would, because that is something that I truly believe, and as an educational leader, I regularly talk to my team that leave everything to the universe and just put out and try and put out a good thought, and if it is bound to happen, it will happen. And would love to hear how things have unfolded for you.
The thing is that there's a billion things that will hold you back. I mean, I myself suffer from anxiety and stuff. Something that we got to be real. I'm not superhuman, but I know that power of the music that heals me. So, I mean, you have to create that environment for yourself, and move ahead on that kind of a path. So, and you've got to know that, like I said, the universe is there. It will take you in the right direction, and I believe that because a lot of people, especially, I mean, I do follow Buddhist teachings, and I'm like a multi-religious kind of person. I like to take the best of all of them. And each one said, I mean, including the Buddha, that this will pass.
Yeah, this
too will pass. Do not think that anything is the biggest problem in the world. And according to like Sir Yogananda, he's saying the universe will not give you more than you can handle.
Yeah,
it's not possible.
Yes.
The thing is, you got to see your personality and how weak or how strong you are. But that belief is what will push you forward. You believe that okay, this is okay, it'll be over. And then you'll carry on.
Yeah.
Like that show which we played, it started raining. It could have been the end of the show, but you move a little forward and it works out.
Yeah. You just have to take that first step. You have to take that first step and know that there's something in store. Brilliant. A big round of applause for Ehsaan. And so I'll take maybe 2 questions from the audience. All right. So Aryaman Srivastav says, sir, what's the most challenging thing in composing music for a diverse audience? You go all across the world, and how are you thinking when you're composing a music?
Actually, what happens is that you're composing, and of course they will keep the audience in mind, but you're composing for the film in our case. So how that film then translates to the other audiences is very important. A lot of our best music has gone down in bad films.
Mm-hmm.
We did a film called Chandni Chowk to China, which had a song called Tere Naina, which today even plays on FM every day. It's a beautiful song, but lost in a bad film. So the thing is that when people listen to that song, I've had, or let's say Kajari for example, Pandit Jasraj called up Shankar and says how much he loves the song. So you don't know what you're composing. So that Kajari can be a Kavani, it can be a pop song, it can be a dance song, you can categorize it into anything that you want.
Yeah.
But for someone like him to appreciate it, it just shows how diverse the music is.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So you don't target specific audiences, you target good music. Actually, that's what you think. And good music will be loved by all.
Yeah.
A good melody is a good melody. And you can't hide it from anybody.
So what you're also saying is that you focus on the process of making amazing music.
Yeah, don't think
about what's going to happen.
It's a very spontaneous thing. You're in the moment, stay in the moment. Then we've had so many flops. How many of our movies are flops? Prithvi Raj Chauhan, Bhatti or Babli Part 2, Kill Dil, all the great songs, Joom Barabar Joom, but all the music, like I said, nothing is a hit or a flop. Laksh, the music, film didn't do well. The theme of Laksh plays at Beating the Retreat in Delhi every year. Hindustani, Mukul Anand died every day at Wagah border, sabse aage Hindustan is played over 4 times. Air Watan from Razi, or songs from Mani Karnika, which we did. Every Independence Day and Republic Day, there were 100 videos of PPC.
Yeah, Instagram is full every Independence Day with Air Watan.
So it's not a flop. Nothing's a flop, nothing's a thing. It all somewhere sits and finds its place in history or in musical space.
What legendary music, and I must say that we are all privileged to have heard you play and to be in your company listening to you today. Thank you. The next question is, do you believe, I think it's an interesting one, do you believe fate and destiny play a significant role in success, or is it purely efforts and choices that you make?
I think it's both. Because the thing is, but fate and destiny will not work unless you have something good to offer.
Yeah.
You can compose the best song in the world, you can compose the worst song in the world, it can become a big hit.
Yeah.
But whatever you do, that commitment behind what you do and the depth of what you do and the belief, the thing is that you got to believe in the music and you got to believe in making good music. You have to be very critical of yourselves. Because with us, with the three of us, it's like a three-tier filter.
Yeah.
That melody has to come down with the three of us.
Everybody has. Yeah.
So which is why it's very important that you got to do that. Back your faith in destiny with good work.
Absolutely.
And then one will carry the other.
Absolutely. Like my coach, Dr. Sri Kumar Rao, he's a really acclaimed guy, and something that he always shares with me is, Siddharth, there are two worldviews. There's one worldview that everything in the world is orchestrated and you have nothing that you can change. And then there's another worldview that you can create your universe. And it is upon you to shuttle between these two worldviews and do the best. And that's exactly what you're saying.
That's true. And if it's like the Gita says, it's all Maya.
Yeah.
If Maya, then we're the best illusionists in the universe. You're creating your world for yourself.
Brilliant. So the next one is, have you ever tried singing as well?
Actually, there are little bits which if you listen to that album was called Surma, which is an album with Diljit.
Okay.
And there's a song called, I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name, but the beginning of that song is got an Allah, which is sung by me.
Would you like to do a live?
Actually, I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
But the director and Shankar insisted that I should do it.
Alright.
It's called, I can't remember the name of the song. But it's a slow song in the film. Surma, yeah.
Brilliant. And two more. How can you walk us through when you craft out a new piece of music? What is your state of mind? How are you thinking?
Okay, I'll tell you the state of the three of us. Shankar will come to the studio. He's the most positive person in the world. He'll walk in bright and early. I'll walk in at the same time, little paranoid about what we're going to do. Loy will walk in not even knowing which project we're working on. He is like from another planet. You got to see Loy. He is one of the most blessed musicians I've come across, who will be recording for Karan Johar on day 1 and will record for Karan Johar on day 2 and he'll ask Karan Johar, which film is this? He's that kind of person. He's very, very funny. He's very, very funny. He mixes up names of films. He was mixing up between Singh is King and My Name is Khan. And he told somebody that we're working on a film called My Name is Singh. So that's the headspace, that's what three of us are like completely different directions. Then we just start with a blank slate. We have a computer running that's recording everything that we're doing. We all three have a workstation. I may play guitar, Lloyd will play keyboard, or may play a little bit of keyboards. Put a little idea down, and from that idea it starts growing. And the thing is that nothing gets rejected. It's not rejected in the sense that it's bad. Maybe it doesn't work for what we do. What we're doing, but little ideas, and then we craft it together, and the song happens. Like the song Kalvano took us 6 minutes to compose.
Wow.
6 minutes, the entire song was ready. For Dil Chahta Hai, we went to this hill station called Khandala outside Bombay, and the idea was to be there for at least 2 weeks, compose the music. We went on a Sunday, we came back on Wednesday night with all the songs composed, lyrics written on. Javed Sahib had written the lyrics for the 3 songs, all the songs we came back. So, it's a magical thing.
It just comes instantaneous.
Sometimes there's a song like from Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, there's a song called Where's the Party Tonight?
Yeah.
Which is a simple song, actually, when you think of a dance song. That took us 3 weeks to compose.
Yeah, it
just couldn't get it. It was just not falling into place. Not sounding good. Finally it happened.
But it got some amazing, peppy and catchy music.
Like Senor from Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara is a combination of 3 songs.
Yeah.
We composed 3 songs, and this one was good, but that was bad, this was bad, that was good. So we took one part from one song, second part from the second song, third part of the song, joined it all together and became the one song.
Brilliant. And the last question for today, I think this might just not apply, but I'm going to ask because I would love to know if there is one. On which part of your career did you really struggle? Was there any struggle in your career, or it just breezed through?
Well, actually, we've been really lucky, so that we've not had to struggle because the work has come just because of the quality of our work. But initially, when we started doing movies, and like say when Laksh we thought after Dil Chahta Hai Love should be a big hit because it's the same director and famous actor Hrithik Roshan. When that flopped, it was very, very disappointing. But then, like Shankar said, forget it. It's gone. It's over. Let's look for tomorrow and see what's happening. So that you do feel disappointed, but over time you realize, like I said, nothing is a flop.
Yeah.
So it's all there. It's all good music for people to listen to for posterity. So what is a hit? What's a flop? So you've got to take it that it's all good. And if it's all good, you're happy.
So, two quick questions. Which is your favorite song?
I would say my favorite song is Kal Ho Na Ho.
Kal Ho Na Ho.
That is a magical song. And in fact, there was a magazine, I think India Today or Outlook or one of these magazines did a research on the top 300 songs, so top 100 songs in Bollywood. First two songs were by Madan Mohan, I mean, excellent. Third song was Kal Ho Na Ho.
Kal Ho Na Ho.
That is not bad. Among an audience of a billion people, research people.
Last one, 3 things that you think parents can do to encourage children pursue music at the highest level.
One thing is definitely the support. Second thing would be, without being regimental about it, expose them to different kinds of music. Encourage listening to, maybe you play old music, old film music. It's all very beautiful. You listen to that. And the third one, I mean, if they want to study and take it further, after a lot of questioning, and if they're sure about it, then just encourage that. That's it. Actually, main thing is the encouragement and the support. That's what I got from my parents, and that helped me a lot.
Thank you, Ehsaan, for your time today and sharing your wisdom with all of us. A big round of applause for Ehsaan and the legend that he is. Thank you.